What's happening, beautiful people? Happy Friday, everyone, and welcome to the European opening. European stocks mixed as European Central Bank offered optimistic outlook in the Eurozone yesterday. Oil extends losses overnight over supply swell, and Bitcoin is literally unchanged, trading currently at 10,285. These are the three topics of the day. Big welcome, everyone, and a very good morning. Type your questions, interact with me, and I'll do my best to help during these broadcasts. So we're 10 minutes into the European opening. We see oil that extended the losses overnight. As I said a minute ago, due to an oversupply swell. We had the crude oil inventories announced yesterday, guys, which came out in red in the economic calendar. There you go. You can see them at the top of the page. Cushing crude oil inventories came out in red as well. So basically, there's a bit of oversupply on the markets. Therefore, there's not a lot of demand in oil. Therefore, the price kept dropping overnight in the Asian session. We see a positive opening, but still very shy today, with oil trading at 37.24 crude oil, and the UK oil, or the European oil, or Brent oil, how you know it, is currently trading at 39.94, just short of the $40 mark. With the RSI and the stochastic pointing upwards, very likely we're going to see it touching the $40 mark very soon. Where is it going to go from there? Only time will tell. Right, let's have a look at Euro US dollar. The European currencies, funny enough, opened on a positive today, with the euro currently trading at 118.39. The pound again opened on a positive today, but very shy after the hawkish message that Christine Lagarde sent Boris Johnson yesterday. But still on a positive, with the pound currently trading at 128.39. USD JPY very shy. We can see a slight drop in the US dollar. The Aussie dollar again opened on a positive, just like European currencies and gold. If you didn't know, guys, there is a positive correlation between the Aussie dollar and gold. They tend to move together in the same direction, but not the same amount of pips. We see USD Canadian dropping. The S&P 500 and the Dow Jones closed the day in red yesterday. Apparently, the tech sell-off continues on Wall Street, sending American stocks in a bit of downtrend. Okay, we're looking at the dollar index, which is currently trading at 93.25. Very slight decline for the dollar index. Obviously, nothing really big happened yet. We just 10 minutes, 12 minutes into the European markets. Let's see how it's going to act later on today. Gold is dropping slightly after the European opening. This is a very rare situation, guys, because usually the US dollar and gold move in opposite directions. And as I said a minute ago, the Australian dollar and gold tend to move in the same direction. But on a very rare occasion, you see a tiny discrepancy. If this happens on a short term, 15 minutes, half an hour, 1 hour, I don't think it's much of a problem. But if this continues, then you might want to check your trades and keep an eye on the charts. Okay, as I said a minute ago, light crude is trading short of $40 per barrel. Silver is copying gold and is declining along with the gold. And as I said a minute ago, Bitcoin is currently trading short of 10,300 at 10,291. Small correction for Bitcoin from the 10,229 level, which we see down there. Hopefully it's going to get a bit of a boost today. A bit of people's confidence will definitely help and push the Bitcoin further. Right, there is the chart. Okay, so Bitcoin currently trading at 10,288. Let's have a quick look at a couple of interesting articles, guys, and see what is going on. Oil losses abound over supply swell and weak demand. An article that was released 3 hours ago before the European opening. Right, investing.com. Oil prices further declined on Friday on the Asian session, hit by an unexpected rise in US stockpiles and slow demand due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The US Energy Information Administration on Thursday reported 2.032 million barrel built in crude inventories for the week ended September 4 against expectations of 1.335 million barrel drop. EIA figures follow the American Petroleum Institute report earlier in the week of a 2.970 million barrel build. Brent oil futures fell 0.57% to 39.83 by 11:20 Eastern Time, and WTI futures were down 0.43% to 37.14. Both benchmarks slid below the $40 mark after both pushed up 2% during the previous session. In the US, refineries slowly returned to operations after production sites were shut due to storms in the Gulf of Mexico and wider region earlier in the month. Their output caused stockpiles to rise last week against expectations. So what's worth noting, guys? Every end of August, beginning of September, every year you have at least one tropical storm which can turn into a hurricane in the Gulf of Mexico. Now, Gulf of Mexico is very close to Texas, to, let's say, Dallas, Texas, where you have a lot of refineries, and where a lot of oil is being processed. So every year they tend to shut down these sites to protect, obviously, the people's lives for a limited amount of time. If that tropical storm becomes a hurricane, they're going to remain closed for a longer period of time. If the tropical storm shifts direction and doesn't threaten Texas anymore, then the production resumes. This is how it works. So every year, beginning of September, end of August, you're going to have some interesting fluctuations on WTI oil. Now, let's move on. Let's see how they close this article. Oversupply worries continue to mount with onshore storage near capacity and supply continues to outpace demand. So basically, this is the problem, guys. Apart from supply and demand, you have storage issues as well. The reason why oil a couple of months ago went down to zero on the trading charts is because the big oil producers had to actually pay to get rid of some oil. Okay, they had an oversupply of oil, and that's what triggered that massive move in oil price, reaching zero at least on the charts. Now let's move on and see what's happening with the European stocks. Again, the headline is European stocks mixed as ECB offers optimistic outlook. European stock markets opened mixed today, with investors having to work through competing influences of a relatively optimistic European Central Bank and fresh weakness on Wall Street. The European Central Bank left policy unchanged yesterday as widely expected, but also marginally lifted as its growth outlook for the year buoyed by improving consumer demand. Okay, now moving on. Nordea still expects the European Central Bank to add further stimulus at the December meeting. And I quote, the economic recovery is far from guaranteed. Inflation expectations will rise slowly, and the European Central Bank may need to do more to secure easy financial conditions. At the same time, relations between the European Union and Britain are soaring, with the UK planning on drafting a law to potentially break the divorce treaty between the two bodies, a move that would probably sink 4 years of Brexit talks. Yeah, that's not a happy moment, guys. Data Friday showed Britain's economy expanded by 6.6% in July from June, roughly as expected, for its third month of growth as the country recovers from its coronavirus lockdown crash. Okay. The tone on Wall Street overnight was more subdued as the US big tech firms' shares fell again on growing doubts about stretched valuations, the economic recovery, and further fiscal stimulus. Data showed that there were 884,000 initial jobless claims in the US last week, more than expected, and casting fresh doubt on the US economic recovery from the COVID-19 virus. Additionally, the US Senate voted down a bill for $300 billion in stimulus measures. Okay, this is what is happening across the pond, guys. Okay, this is what's happening in Europe. Okay, and apparently both parties are still struggling due to this unpleasant, if I can call it, COVID-19 virus. Okay, in the economic calendar today, we started the day fresh at 9 o'clock GMT plus 3 with announcements coming from UK. Yeah, we saw the GDP at 6.6% versus a forecast of 6.7%. We see industrial production rising at 5.2% versus a forecast of only 4%. And again, the manufacturing production rising again at 6.3% versus an expectations of 5%. The monthly gross domestic product came above expectations at negative 7.6%, and the trade balance again came above expectations at the negative 8.64%. Okay, then more news followed on the euro, with the German consumer price index coming out as expected at negative 0.1%. The Spanish consumer price index coming out as expected as negative 0.5%. Okay, later on today, we're going to have the core consumer price index on the US dollar month to month and year to year. Okay, followed by the usual end of the week US Baker Hughes oil rig count. Okay, this is what is happening with the markets today. Now, as I promised yesterday, I'm gonna try and open a few live trades using the signals from our friends at ForexC. Okay, and all you have to do is go on their website, guys, at forexc.com, or you go on forexcube.com and you will be redirected to the new website. And at the top of the page, you're going to see the market signals. As you click on market signals, yeah, you see the signals offered by these guys on a short time frame, long time frame. They even give you the entry price, the stop loss, and the take profit levels. Please note that the stop loss and the take profit is optional. Okay, it's not a must. Some traders decide to do it. Some traders decide against it. Okay, it's entirely up to you how you want to do it. You can test the trading signals if you want on your demo account, on your live account with a very small position while you're in the testing phase to see how the signals work and how the markets react. And then you can increase your position gradually if you're targeting serious profits. Okay, so 29 minutes ago, we had a buy on AUD USD on a 15-minute chart. Okay, let's go into the trading account. Let's have a quick look at AUD USD. There it is. Right, okay. The signal was correct. Okay, I'm going to enter with only 0.2 lots with 20,000 units. Okay, let's look at it on a higher time frame. All right, so I'm going to take a buy position, guys, yeah, on AUD USD. Let's see where they said the take profit and the stop loss should go. 0.73050 is the take profit level they suggested. 0.73050. Let's have a quick look at the price. 0.72951. All right, so we entered below. Okay, you can see the markets are reacting straight away. Okay, very, very good. Let's have a quick look at another currency, the Kiwi dollar against the US dollar. Again, buy position with a take profit suggested at 0.6681. Okay, let's have a quick look at the Kiwi dollar. It kind of makes sense if you think about it, guys. If the Aussie dollar goes that way, usually the Kiwi dollar, there you go. The charts are almost identical. Again, I'm going to go for a 0.2 lots as I'm only testing out the signals. Okay, and I will give the markets a bit of time to breathe. Okay, we see that the strong buy signal was released 2 hours ago as well as an hour ago. Okay, and 29 minutes ago, the Aussie dollar came in as a strong buy signal. So it makes a lot of sense, guys. Okay, now I'll keep these trades open for a bit of time, and I'll show you the result later on today at 4:30 at the American opening. Okay, this is what is happening with the markets today, guys. Join me at 4:30 and ring the bell with me last time for the week at the New York opening. Until then, remember to trade responsibly, and may all your trades be in the money.